Hello students, so it is the continuation of the same chapter, that is light reflection and reflection. Now today the topic which we are going to discuss is about types of mirror. Types of mirror. This topic also comes under the same topic, that is reflection. Now under reflection, as we have discussed earlier, that reflection is only be possible with the help of mirror. So now we will try to understand the types of mirror. So the first type of mirror is concave mirror, and the second type of mirror is convex mirror. So these are the two types of mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror. Now the concave mirror, basically it is outward as shown here, whereas the convex mirror is inward. So these are the two types of mirror. Now there are some terms, there are some few terms which we have to understand for this chapter. Now what those terms are, I will try to make you understand those terms with the help of a ray diagram. Now let's suppose I am assuming a concave mirror. Let's suppose this is a concave mirror. Now if this is a concave mirror, in that case the two ends of the concave mirror I am marking it as X and Y. So there is a concave mirror, I am marking the two ends of the concave mirror as X and Y. Now let's say an imaginary ray came and strike the surface of the mirror in such a way that it bisects the mirror into two equal halves. Means, I am assuming that, let's say this is a ray of light which came and strike the surface of the mirror XY somewhere at point P. And what I am saying? I am saying that this ray of light has bisected, not intersected, you have to keep that in mind. It has bisected the whole mirror into two equal halves. Now the point where it strikes the surface of the mirror, that point is called, it is marked as P, and this P is called as pole of the mirror. Pole. Now, let's say there is an object which has been placed onto the principal axis somewhere at point A. This ray of light which has bisected the mirror into two equal halves, this imaginary ray of light is called as the principal axis. So this will be the principal axis. Now onto the principal axis, let's say I have placed one candle. So anything which I am going to place in front of the mirror, that thing will behave as an object. So here I am placing a candle, so this candle will behave as an object. If you stand in front of the mirror, then you will also behave as an object. So anything which we are going to keep, it will behave as an object. Now this object is placed onto the principal axis somewhere at point A. The height of the object, I am marking it as A, B. So this is the height of the object. Now I am assuming, let's say a ray of light came from the surface, let's say a ray of light came from the candle, strike the surface of the mirror somewhere at point here. I am marking this point, let's say as X dash. And what the mirror will do, this is a mirror, concave mirror, so concave mirror will reflect it back. So it has been reflected back. Now the reflected ray which came from the candle have intersected our principal axis somewhere at this point, let's say. So this point will be called as what? This point will be called as principal focus. So the point where the reflected ray will be intersecting our principal axis, that point will be called as principal focus, and it will be marked with capital letter F, principal focus. Now, I am assuming, let's say there is another ray of light which came out from the candle and went somehow like this. Here, the reflected ray and the ray which has, the second ray which came out from the candle, it has intersected somewhere at this point. So I am marking this point, let's say, as B dash. So this will be the point where the image of this object AB will form. So this will be the, here we will get the image of the object AB. And I am marking it as A dash, B dash. And this whole diagram is called as a ray diagram. In this ray diagram, the terms which we have used till now is pole, principal axis, principal focus. Now, since we have placed the object somewhere at AB, why we place the object in front of mirror? To get the image of it. Why we place anything in front of mirror? To get the image of it. So here the object AB which we have placed in front of the mirror, the image of that object AB has formed somewhere at point A dash and B dash. So the distance where the object has been placed, that is A, to the pole, this distance will be called or marked by U, small letter U. So what is U? U is the distance of the object from the pole. Now, the image of the object AB has formed somewhere at point A dash. So from A dash till P, this distance will be marked with small letter V. So what is small letter V? V is the distance of the image from the pole. And the final term, there is another term, that is the distance between the principal focus to the pole. From principal focus, that is F, to pole, that is capital letter P. This distance is marked with small letter F. And what this F is called as? This F is called as the focal length. It is called as the focal length. So these are the terms, basic terms which we are going to use in this chapter. Now based on these basic terms there will be numericals. So please try to understand. So what is U? U is the distance between the object, that is A, till P. Since we have placed our object at A. What is V? V is the distance between the image till pole, P. Where we have placed, where we got the image, that is A dash. What is F? F is the focal length between the F, that is principal focus, capital letter F, and pole P. So these are the basics. Now there are few other terms. What those few other terms are? There are few other terms like radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. There is another term, radius of curvature. Now radius of curvature is defined with capital letter R. Now what is radius of curvature? Radius of curvature, to understand radius of curvature, let's go back to the diagram of mirror. What we have already discussed, there are two types of mirror. What are they? That is concave and convex. How a concave mirror look like? A concave mirror look like it has been curved outward. Now, the two ends of the concave mirror, X and Y, called as the aperture of the mirror. Now, this concave mirror is curved outward, means it somehow look like a semicircle. Now, if I extend the two ends of this mirror, that is the two ends we have marked it as X and Y. If we extend the two ends of the mirror, then we will get what? We will get a circle. In that case, the radius of that circle will be called as the radius of curvature. But in reality, does this circle exist? No. How we got this circle? By extending the two ends of the mirror. But in reality, we cannot extend mirror. So that's why the definition of radius of curvature is, it is the radius of an imaginary circle which we will get by extending the two ends of the mirror. If we extend the two ends of the mirror, then we will get a circle. That circle will be an imaginary circle, and the radius of that circle will be called as the radius of curvature. Now, what is convex? Same diagram you can make for convex or mirror also. Convex mirror is bulged inward. In that case, this will be the two ends of the mirror, X and Y, let's say, called as the aperture of the mirror. If you extend, for the case of convex mirror, the two ends of it, then also you will get a circle, and the radius of that imaginary circle will be the radius of curvature. So the same diagram is applicable for the case of concave as well as convex mirror. Okay. Now there is another term. I'll rub and try to write it here. Now there is another term called as center of curvature. Center of curvature. See, these terms matters a lot. So you have to focus and try to understand these terms. Now, what is center of curvature? Till here we got radius. If I extend this, then you will get, then let's say this point I am marking it as C. Then C will become the center of curvature. Same for this case. If I extend this, then it will reach somewhere over here. I am marking this point as C. Then C will become the center of curvature. Okay? So the full of radius of curvature is center of curvature. Now, there are few relations, or we can say formulas, which we have to keep in mind. But before going on to the formulas, now we are discussing about mirrors. And mirrors, we all know, we used in our day-to-day life, and we all know that mirrors are used to form images. So next we'll try to understand images and how it forms. Now, image are of two types, the real image and virtual image. Now, what is a real image? A real image you will get whenever the object is placed behind, or you can say beyond, the principal focus. If we place the object behind the principal focus, then the image will be a real image. And when we will get a virtual image, if you want a virtual image, then you have to place the object in between, should be placed in between principal focus and pole. The object should be placed in between principal focus and pole. Now there are few natures of it also. What is the nature of real image? Real images will always be inverted in nature. It will always be ulta, inverted. Whereas virtual image will always be erect, siddha. It will be straight. Whereas if let's suppose this is a pen, this is the marker, and we want a real image of it, the real image of this marker will always be upward, down, ulta. Whereas the virtual image will always be erect, straight. Next, the real images are very small in nature. Small, or you can say diminished in nature. They are very small or diminished in nature. Whereas virtual images are magnified, big in nature. They are very big in nature. So these are the basics about the image. So students, what we have studied today? Today we have discussed about the nature of types of mirror and the types of images, as well as the terms which we are going to use further in this chapter. In our next class, we will discuss about the rules of mirror, which will help us to do some numericals, to solve some numerical problems, which is very important. Thank you.